Haile Gebrselassie. And when I say one of my all-time heroes, I'm not exaggerating. His story inspires me like nobody else's. So Haile was born in a town called Asella in Ethiopia. Now Asella is up in the mountains, about 8,000 feet above sea level. Living in a town that high up comes with a unique problem. There is a shortage of oxygen. When you stand in the center of Asella and breathe in, a considerably smaller quantity of oxygen will make its way into your lungs than when you take the same single breath here in Accra. Now, this is a problem. We all need oxygen, and we need it in abundance. The more active we are, the more of it we need. And that's why you breathe faster after running or fighting or making love, right? So if you don't know what a lack of oxygen can do to you, ask the people dying in the emergency wards of government hospitals as we speak. So this is the place where Haile Gebrselassie grew up. But it gets worse. His school was 10 kilometers away from his house. That meant he had to travel 20 kilometers a day just to get an education. That's about the distance from Accra to Tema. Every single day. Sometimes he was late and would have to run all the way there with less oxygen than you and I have access to here in Accra. Naturally, over the years, his lungs evolved. They learned how to ration every breath he took and use the little oxygen that came in to effectively run his body and brain through all his daily activities, including running 2 marathons a day, to and from school, when he was only 9 years old. My dear friend, life is tougher for some than others. I'm sure you look at the year we're having so far and you wonder how we're going to make it through. You know, economy continues to limp along. COVID is devastating us all. We're being forced to chase the dollar into the bush and all of that. You start to wonder how we're supposed to go without so many things and still survive, including electricity. Well, let me remind you that the most essential thing a human being needs is oxygen. If a person can get by on rations of that, then there is truly... Now, that inspires me most about Haile's story is how his weakness became a strength. After getting by on rations of oxygen his whole life and still performing at the highest standards, just imagine what he was able to do when he descended to our level, where oxygen is abundant. If he could only jog at home, down here he could fly. Nobody could catch the little man from Asella. There was really no point trying to. Of course, those of us down here have been spoiled. We have been breathing freely all our lives, and so imagine how we would all suffer if we were to move to Haile's hometown of Asella today. That's life. Those who start off in abundance tend to struggle in adversity, and the opposite is also true. You know, back in Ogasco, there was an athlete called Agabus. This guy was fast, man. He broke every imaginable sprint record there was to break, and his secret was that every morning he would go to the beach, tie bags of sand around his ankles, and run in the sand. He would sprint at great bursts of speed with weights around his ankles on the unruly, uneven surface of the sand. Then he would walk around all day with the sandbags on his ankles until the time of the race. And when he finally took the sandbags off, Agabus's legs would feel super light. The same effort he had been using to move with the sandbags on could now take him a great deal further and faster once he took them off. So what are the sandbags in your life? What are the things that put you at a disadvantage to others? Is it a poor upbringing, less than excellent grades, less than excellent looks, a disability? Whatever your disadvantage, try to remember that they are actually advantages when you compete against those who have never had to live with your limitations. So show them what you've endured, show them what you've been through and survived. Make those who think they are better than you realize that they are no match for you even on your worst day. Show them that all your life you have been doing what they do, but you have been doing it without what they have. My name is Kojo Yankson and I've never had much. So to win, I don't need much. Good morning, Ghana.
Play Store for Android or App Store for iOS users to listen live on the internet. In this edition, Central Regional Police rolls out a series of measures to augment.
At the 2 divisions, vehicular, motorbike, and foot patrols have been intensified.
More as the prime suspect in one of the stories we aired has been arrested. Also in this package, power consumers in parts of the capital expected to experience at least 12 hours of interrupted supply for 8 days as ECG announces a load shedding timetable. We'll tell you if you will be affected. And governments to introduce fresh boarding protocols at bus terminals to aid in investigating road crashes.
Now, any passenger that bought any vehicle at that place, your information is with us. So if anything happens, you will be able to know.
We'll hear from the Transport Minister as part of our Drive Safe campaign. And in business,
Ghana to experience buoyant economic growth in second half of this year.
Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7.
to beef up security in Kasoa and its environs. This is coming days after Joy News highlighted the insecurity situation there. We'll be hearing from the police shortly, but first, in one of our stories, my colleague Maxwell Agbabat spoke to a woman whose husband was shot and killed at 9 a.m. at Kasoa Opekuma bus stop. Here's his report.
The crime scene is a busy spot at Opekuma Junction on the Accra-Kasoa Highway. Eyewitnesses tell me they were helpless because the attackers had weapons. I'm now at the residence of the deceased where family members are seated. His wife, Mamiesi Ankuma, has been narrating to me how she got to know of the killing.
I'm going to know what's Angie's going on.
They shot him and bolted with his money. Our only hope now is the police. They should help arrest the perpetrators.
Maxwell Agbagbes reports there. Now, the Central Regional Police Commander DCOP Habiba Chumisi Sapong says the prime suspect involved in the shooting has been arrested by police at Gomwa Budumburam. At a press conference, she also talked about measures to beef up security in Kasoa and its environs.
More personnel have been sent to augment the strength of personnel at the two divisions to help with operations, police operations. Vehicular, motorbike, and foot patrols have been intensified. Police, in collaboration with opinion leaders, are negotiating to form more community watch committees. Media education, community engagement are ongoing within the two divisions and its environment.
Central Regional Police of interrupted supply for 8 days. The Electricity Company of Ghana says this has been necessitated by works ongoing at the Pokwase Bulk Supply Point.
It is within the northeastern part of Accra, put in 4 groups, A to D. If you live at Nsakina, Oduman, Odoko Official Town, or Dogono, then you should expect a.m. to 6 a.m. This pattern will be repeated for the rest of the days with a 2-day interval. Group B includes 10th of May, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. However, communities within Group C will experience their first 12-hour power cut from Tuesday, the 11th of May, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. the next day.
And that was an Energy Desk report. Well, some of you have been reacting to this announcement. Listen.
We only pray that whatever they are doing.
For some days, it doesn't go like that. Sometimes the lights will come all right. Sometimes you are unaware, you will not be aware, and then the lights will go off.
You had voices of some power consumer calls from some founding members of the party for executives to account for the 2020 elections and the Supreme Court petition. Adekoka says executives do not owe anyone any accountability. Head of our political desk, Evans Mess.
His former President Rawlings' values are pitched in the other half. Dr. Benjamin Kumbo, a proud Rawlings loyalist, has been the voice for his current crop of NDC leaders, many of whom are invested in the Mahama camp to account for the 2020 elections. Other divide of the NDC has been furious. Adekoka, Greater Accra chairman of the NDC, was blistering in his condemnation of Dr. Kumwo and
of serving high positions. So they should know better. If serial callers were doing that, that's fine.
Head of our political desk, Evans Mensah, with that report. For our Drive Safe campaign, and Transport Minister Kweku Ofori-Asiamah says his outfit will introduce new boarding protocols. According to him, the lack of passengers' records has been a challenge in determining the cause of many road accidents.
Now, aiming to incorporate this manifest with the DVLA system, with the police to determine, be it time, find out what are some of the causes of these accidents which are occurring on our roads.
Kweku Ofori-Asiamah is Transport Minister. Now to the U.
Second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk. Find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021.
The decision of the court that has found former police officer Derek Boyd was heard shouting for minutes, quote, "I can't breathe," unquote. Now the verdict is out, and the former police officer now risks possible jail time of up to 40 years. Here's what U.S. President Joe Biden had to say.
9 minutes and 29 seconds. We have to listen. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Those are George Floyd's last words. We can't let those words die.
Has opened up about the track which helped him to make a breakthrough in his then struggling career. In part 2 of his interview with Becky on the E-Vibe show.
In Ghana, doing music those days, because even the one who was selling my records, my producer, be giving some of your own composition, your own records to go and sell. So I decided to go to Nigeria, and when I chatted even many people in Nigeria, you go bring the record. Naim.
6 with me, Manuel Cranting. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Have a good morning.
The sound of this